I'm ready. Good evening. We'd like to welcome everyone tonight to the Richmond Planning and Zoning meeting. Clerk, we call the roll, please.
Commissioner Miller.
Here.
Commissioner Miles.
Here.
Commissioner DeGrant.
Here.
Commissioner Perkins.
Here.
Commissioner Francis.
Here.
Commissioner Short.
Here.
Commissioner Estelle.
Here. If all the commissioners had a chance to read the minutes from April the 15th, I'd like to get a motion and approval on that, please.
I'll make a motion we approve the April 15th, 2026 minutes.
Second.
There's been a motion been made by Mr. Short, second by Dr. Miller. Clerk, call the roll, please.
Commissioner Perkins.
Here. Yes,
Commis-
whatever.
Commissioner Francis.
Yes.
Commissioner Miles.
Yes.
Commissioner Short.
Yes.
Commissioner DeGrant.
Yes.
Commissioner Miller.
Yes.
Commissioner Estelle.
Yes. Next on the agenda is the tie vote reconsideration within 30 days concerning the rezoning of Amber Way, parcel 0042-042A-0000 from B1/P1 to B3 as required by KRS 100-211G.
Chairman Estelle, may I be heard on this for a moment, just to lay some groundwork for what's going to happen?
Okay.
Okay. So y'all going to make me earn my keep tonight. So I've done some research as far as what we're doing here. It's rare that ties happen in a planning and zoning situation, and after the meeting and looking at what the next steps would be, I was made aware of 100.211G, which does state a tie vote shall be subject to further consideration by the Planning Commission for a period not to exceed 30 days, at the end of which, if the tie has not been broken, the application shall be forwarded to the legislative body without a recommendation of approval or disapproval. So we've heard evidence, we've heard testimony. This is just a reconsideration. We've got an odd number here tonight, so we're probably going to be definitive one way or the other by the end of this, but we're limited to the record as presented previously. So there's not going to be more testimony or anything like that. The other issue we have is Commissioner Francis was not present at the previous meeting. The question came up as to whether or not he can participate in this hearing. In doing some research, there's the case of Canapel versus Dulworth, 497 Southwest 2nd, 718, in which a Kentucky Court of Appeals addressed a challenge in this area. Essentially, what the holding is on that is if the commissioner has had the ability, which my understanding is that he has, to review the videotape and as the minutes of the previous proceeding, then the law would allow for his participation in the reconsideration discussion this evening. I know a lot of people like to recuse themselves anytime minutes are read when they were not present at the previous meeting. Same thing applies. You know, if you've had the opportunity to review the minutes, you can do that. So legally, Commissioner Francis, based upon the Canapel case, would be able to sit on this reconsideration. So that is essentially the groundwork that we have as far as legal basis for the reconsideration. So it would be appropriate for the commission to discuss what has been previously presented and see where we want to go.
Can I say something? It's kind of interesting. In Robert's Rules of Order, which is what we usually do, if you have a tie, the motion's canceled. That's it. It doesn't go through. Only with KRS did they sidestep that and say that you had to do it again in 30 days, which I thought was kind of interesting, But so if you'd ever go anyplace else or whatever, it's.
Yep. By the same token, there's a difference in Kentucky legal authority and Robert's Rules of Order as to an abstention. An abstention is not counted as a vote for or against. In Kentucky, if you abstain under a Kentucky Attorney General's opinion from goodness knows how long ago, that they say that an abstention is counted as a vote with the majority. So raises an interesting issue as in ethics issues if there's a conflict of interest. Let's say your husband is applying to be a caterer for the city. If that would ever come up and you say, hey, I'm going to abstain, and they end up getting the contract, Technically, you voted in favor of that. And I thought for years that that was angels dancing on the head of a pin legal thing, but it was an issue in the last election cycle. Somebody contended that there was an ethics violation for that very fact pattern. Not the caterer, but in fact, that there was self-interest with that. So there are areas where Robert's Rules of Order and Kentucky law doesn't, there's a Venn diagram, it's not an overlay.
It's kind of interesting.
Yes, sir.
It really is. Well, I'd like to make a compromise here. It was 3-3. Mr. Worley, one of the things is, when I went out there and looked at the land, a lot of the land's not very good. If we don't want that right next to the housing, you want to build there, build someplace in there, can you give us a buffer area of like 4 acres of the unusable land? And put that into motion, we'll put that into motion. And that way it'll give us a big buffer zone between the subdivision and what you're gonna build. Now, we could do that before we give an approval or a deny or whatever. And because if we put it right up next to the subdivision, that's not gonna get it, I don't think. But if we give a few acres, that's not usable anyway. And we don't want any buffer there, wouldn't want anything, just leave the forest. That would be a lot better, I would think.
So, and I will accommodate the discussion however the board chooses, and staying within the grounds that this is not to be new testimony, new evidence, and that sort of thing. But I believe the record reflected last time without specificity that my clients are more than willing to create an appropriate buffer. I can't commit to this minute what that acreage would be, but I could commit that it will be substantial, a substantial buffer. The time to actually show you that is at a development plan.
Yeah, but see, once you get that zone, you can make it right up to, of course, Kentucky's not gonna, our zone things are not gonna change.
But can I,
I've got to, and I think council kind of hit on something here as far as the development plan with that. There is, unfortunately, for what Dr. Miller has presented, authority under Board of Commissioners of City of Danville versus Davis, 238 Southwest 3rd, 132, that is strict construction. So as far as the proper time for what Mr. Worley was referring to, that would be the appropriate time to discuss those types of buffers, I believe.
That's true, though I've talked a lot about this with my clients beforehand and since the last meeting. And there was some discussion from members of the neighborhood that have been there throughout the whole development of Amberley Way that talked about various different plans that have been presented over the years. And there was one plan, without going into the details and adding new evidence, but just to answer the question and to follow up on what we discussed last time, there was a plan that was submitted at one time that created multiple acres of buffer between what was thought to be developed and what would be developed. I don't think I have the ability to bind them in this setting, but I can tell you that on the record, yes, they are willing to provide a substantial buffer of acreage, not just hedges and fence line, but actual land between the neighborhood and whatever is presented in a development plan. And I would put to you all that while the law has changed to make development plans more ministerial and less discretionary than they used to be, if this body is to see a development plan, and I put to you on the record that you will see a development plan with a buffer, then I would think that would not meet the understanding that you all had when moving from this stage to the next.
But how could I trust you if you'd say, well, I'm gonna give you 50 feet?
Well, I know you don't mean that directly to me. but-
No, I don't. No, I really don't. I don't mean that to you. I mean, no, if it was Kevin, but.
Can we not table this until it goes back to you and then you present us with the new boundaries and what you can do?
can I just say this? Yeah. This will have to be voted on for the zone change, right? Because this is what we are, is to put it in a zone, going from what it is to a B3. And then whatever it passes, then we can come back with the site development plan or whatever. If it passes, I don't know if it's going to pass with B3 or not, but if it did, then that's when we would see it. I understand what what you're saying on it, but we have to go what's in front of us right now to vote on the change
That
from
is,
one to the other?
that is correct, Chairman, that the issue
that's what-
before
that's
you
what
all
we have to
is
do now.
is
We have to
to
vote on
accept
it.
or reject. The discussion as far as setbacks or anything like that,
We can't do it.
that's pending whatever happens here going to
Yeah, I
the
understand
commission.
what you're saying, but.
And-
But
Yeah,
if we
put it
vote
there.
it down now, then he can
can't
come
do it.
back to us with these new parameters.
No.
Not in,
Why?
not in what's being requested. So the development plan is when you show the layout of the land. So this whole parcel we're asking to change the zone for the whole parcel, and that's what's before you today. When we bring a development plan forward, it would actually show where the streets are, where the buildings may be, where any potential buffer would be. And I have in my file plans that they have put together that show buffers that they've dealt with in the past, that they're thinking about in the future, but that's not for me to present to you today. And so all I can do today is commit to you that the plan that they intend to bring back will show a substantial buffer between the neighborhood and what they build. But there's no way in the zone change phase to do that other than committing to you on the record that that's what we intend to do. Because otherwise we would have to come back and show you a zone that we would have to resplit the property
Right.
in different zones, which is exactly what we're trying to get away from now.
Why? Why does it matter if we wait and deny it now and then you come back with two different zones?
If it's denied now, it would go to the Board of Commissioners with a recommendation not to approve. And then,
Right, and then it could come back.
We would still move forward, and I would certainly make the argument to the Board of Commissioners to hopefully still approve it, even if the recommendation was disapproval. But we need the whole thing zoned for one zone, unless you already have a different use intended for another zone, because it changes your ability for density, your ability to put in curb cuts, your ability. So if something is not zoned appropriately, that could even potentially be that we wouldn't be able to put a road cut in a certain place because it's not the same zone as the development that we're trying to put in. So that's why we get the whole property zoned for what the use is. And then at the next stage, you get to see the development plan and decide whether that's appropriate. And one of the conditions that you all get to use is there appropriate transition from one use to the next?
Yeah, but there's only a certain amount of buffer that we can recommend, that we can put you to, okay? So if not just you, anybody comes back and they say, okay, I only gonna give you 50 feet, okay? You already approved the zone. I can do what I want. And I've had people tell me that. So that's what bothers me a lot. They said,
I completely understand that. And I can put to you, while I can't bind everybody who may ever once own that property, I believe everything that I have put to you all in the time that I've been here in front of you, and that's been many, many times, I'm probably before you more than a lot of other attorneys, that I have made my clients stick to that, or I would not continue to represent them. And these two, the gentlemen that are the principals of this bit of the ownership are Bruce McIntosh and Ray DeSlover, who are local guys, and they have developed that entirety of Amberley Way in some fashion or another. And they have a vested interest in doing it right and committed to their word. And so when it comes to that, that's what I can put to you on the record. They are willing to create a substantial buffer of acreage. I can't commit exactly what that acre is. I've seen a plan that is a little over 2. I've seen a plan that's about 3. But that, if you look at that type of acreage, you're talking about more than 100 feet of space at times. So you will not see a plan come back that is 10 to 20 foot of trees spaced on every 6-foot center. They're committed to that. Now, again, that's our discussion here and what I can tell you, but we're at a zone change phase, and is this zone appropriate? But I want to answer your question just as honestly as I can and as much as I can, given the parameters of where we are.
This wouldn't be any different than other zone changes that we would have, because we have to vote on it to put it in the zone before we can do anything with it. So we're gonna have to vote on it, yea or nay, and then, again, with the site development plan, then we can go from there. And Kevin, whoever, they would bring it back to us.
yeah, but it is a little different because you got a B3 next to a R1.
but it's still a zone change. that
It's a
we have to
little
put it in.
different than what we usually have had, and that's a nice subdivision, so.
Well, I know it,
I
but
don't
we
want that
still,
ruined.
but we still have to
We voted
vote,
this in.
Dr. Miller, we still have to vote
Oh, we can
on what,
vote.
on what we want to put it in, or B3, or whatever. It's got to be voted on,
Well, I agree.
yeah. And then we can go from there on
It can be
whatever it
voted
is.
down.
It can be voted down, too.
Well,
And
yeah,
then they can come
that's what
back
I'm
with
saying.
this.
Either way, it's going to have to be voted on.
Chris, I do have a question for you. Do we have to vote in a double negative, or can we change the way that we vote this one?
I was going to say, I'm not an English professor with a double negative there, so don't,
Well, I
but
want to,
you're-
make sure, because of the way that this was a tie, and therefore coming back, I want to make sure, do we have to
A,
do the
a
motion?
motion,
the same way?
a motion for reconsideration is just that. Each and every member of this board can reconsider the vote that they cast at the last meeting. And the purpose of having this discussion is if hearts and minds have been swayed, good, bad, or indifferently, then you can vote according to whatever your conclusion is for the purposes of this vote.
Now, according to the comprehensive plan, there's supposed to be a transition in your, from a B, a B3 to a B1 to an R1. A B3 should never adjoin an R1, never. And I don't know if it's even legal. I don't think it should be legal personally. And our job here is to protect our citizens from, I know we want infill. We want to be considerate of our developers. We want development, but not at the, not at the expense of the citizens. This is why we're here, is to protect the citizens of Richmond in a complementary way with development. And, I know how some people are going to vote on this, and I don't think it's right for us to take their property values as, well, it doesn't really affect me. And if there's a 10-story hotel, once you make it a B3, it's going to stay a B3, and we don't have recourse. They can do it, and I'm sure their heart is in a good place, but I can't go to bed on that. I've got to know that, okay, you come back to me with what you deem is appropriate to protect these people in their nice subdivision.
As a real estate agent, I would rather be next to a business than apartments. Just as a realtor.
But you want to be next to a B1. When you make it a B3, you know what you're open to? You're open to auto dealerships. You're open to a 10-story building. You are open to what? Liquor stores. You're open to office supplies. You're open to moving and storage, hospitals, truck freight terminals. These are things that are allowable in a B3 and not in a B1. And a B1, you're talking about small businesses. And I know you wouldn't want at the beginning of your subdivision a 10-story building.
I already have it.
A 10-story building?
Not a 10-story, but I have businesses.
Well, yeah, but they're B1s.
Yeah.
They're not B3s. There's a
This-
huge
It don't
difference.
bother me.
Well,
Really,
agree, Mike.
we don't know really what's going to go there, even if, when they're going to develop it right now.
But
But we
they're
do
open
need
to
to vote,
B3.
we do need to vote one way or the other
Yeah, I think
on
we
this.
talked about it. It's time to vote.
So,
Chris, does the motion stay the same?
There would need to be, assuming discussion is at an end, there would need to be a motion to call the question as to whether or not to approve the zoning change as requested. And then the vote would be either for or against it, or abstain. Or you can run for the door.
I'm not going to run for the door, but still,
So,
okay,
he's the lawyer, city attorney.
City attorney. Okay, thank you. So my goal is to keep everything legal. Yes, ma'am.
so I get a motion on there?
You could request a motion unless there's any more
Is there
discussion.
any more discussion? I get a motion on this, please?
Well, I made the original one, where I basically wanted to deny the zone change for the parcel number 0042-042A-0000 from B1 to a P1, B1/P1 to a B3, and I still, go ahead, I want to make a motion that we deny it.
I
I
said,
guess, okay, got a motion from Mr. Short. I get a second from Dr. Miller.
And I'll clarify what I clarified last time, because how Dr. Short has presented this, it is a motion to deny. So if your intention is to deny, you'll need to vote yes. It's kind of the double negative that was brought up earlier, a little bit different.
I was trying to avoid that. So
Yeah,
make it
yes.
clean and clear.
Yes, sir. So the motion as presented is if your intention is to deny the zone change, when the roll is called, you would state yes. If you want to allow the zone change, you will vote no based upon the form of the motion as made by Dr. Short.
The clerk will call the roll.
Commissioner DeGrant,
No.
Commissioner Francis,
No.
Commissioner Short,
Yes.
Commissioner Miller,
yes.
Commissioner Perkins,
Yes.
Commissioner Miles,
No.
Commissioner Estelle.
No. Thank you. Next on the agenda is,
Can I say one thing now? It's passed, so it's going to go. But some of us may, and I'm telling everybody now, some of us may go to the commission and have a talk with them. Reverend Blythe will see me there, and everybody else will see me there, and maybe some other people. And if you want to come, that's why I'm saying something now, so that you don't get.
It should, that's, I think it should go as they presented it.
So if you have some comments about it, and you want to support it, you know, some of us are going to go and say no. Some of you should be allowed to go say yes.
next on the agenda is letter of credit release from, no, I'm sorry, Magnolia Point Phase 8A final plat. Mr. Spencer.
Good evening.
Good evening.
We are here this evening asking for approval of the final plat, Magnolia Point Phase 8A.
Spencer, can you wait just a second, please, so that the recording can pick up?
Okay. Stuart Spencer with Spencer Land Surveying. We're here tonight asking for approval of the final plat for Magnolia Point Phase 8A. This is a 13-lot phase that's connected to the remainder of Phase 8, which is fully under construction right now. The entire phase is about 104 lots and includes the bridge, which is the connector to Union City Road, which I know has been a topic of many discussions. Our goal here is this portion of the property, sewers through, basically sewers to the east into the existing sewer system. So we were able to go ahead and kind of complete this portion and tie it in, get it wrapped up and done so we can get some builders going on lots here. Everything from here the other direction is all part of the new sewer, which goes across the new bridge and has to wait till all that's completed. So that's the reason we're asking for these 13 lots now. This portion of it is done and ready to go. I believe we have addressed pretty much everything on the punch list. There was one item with a existing Kentucky Utilities box, which is their primary transformer coming in that needs to be raised. We have no control over that. We have talked to KU, and it is a major undertaking because it supplies power to quite a few lots, and they're going to have to shut the entire power grid off for quite some time, probably an entire day, to get that box raised. So that is not done as of today, but it obviously will be. It has to be done because it's sitting on one of those lots. But otherwise, I think we've addressed everything. Provided the letters of credit here tonight. Street sign went up today. Does not have the street names on it because they're still at the print shop. But other than that,
How close are you to that bridge?
we are. The bridge is under.
I know, I see it, yeah. I'm out there, yeah, I see it.
The components are scheduled to be delivered on June 1st. They got the entry rock. We got the entry rock. We are digging footers. We had to do a quick redesign. We'll be pouring concrete in about a week, and it's going up.
When will it be done?
Yeah, it'll be about 45 days.
We're getting close.
The bridge assembly is scheduled for about the second week of June. Once the assembly's done, then there's a bunch of backfill and concrete after that. So we'll be looking probably first part of July, that'll be done.
It will be a two-lane bridge, right?
It's
Is the light going to be planned
a
at,
huge bridge. You'll be impressed when you see it. It looks good out there. Thank you.
Yeah.
are they planning a light, I wonder, at Red House and?
We don't have any control over Red House Road, so,
Okay.
yeah, can't answer that.
That's
Got
cool.
anything, Kevin?
That's what I told everybody. We're just not stopping for the people to come out. The only one I'm on, they're stuck.
Kevin?
I will add that there is a request at the KYTC to take a look at light at the intersection of Union City and Red House Road.
The state does that, though, doesn't it?
Yes, that goes to the state, so we're communicating through that department to evaluate if that can be done.
Okay. Got any more questions? Get a motion on
Okay. I'll make a motion that we approve the Magnolia Point Phase 8A final plat.
it? Okay, motion by Dr. Miller,
Second.
second Theodore. Okay, clerk.
Commissioner DeGrant,
Yes.
Commissioner Francis,
Yes.
Commissioner Short,
Yes.
Commissioner Miller,
Yes.
Commissioner Perkins,
Yes,
Commissioner Miles,
Yes.
Commissioner Estelle.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you all.
Next on the agenda is letter of credit release from Autumn Place subdivision. Kevin?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I'll take this. I would like to request that we pull this item from the agenda. Just of recent, yesterday, we discovered that the final installation of the electrical conduit for the streetlights, those stub outs have occurred directly over Richmond Utilities water line. So some of those will have to be relocated a short distance, but due to that fact that the developer is responsible for the installation of that infrastructure, I can't allow us to release that letter of credit until we've inspected that and that it's correct. So if it is okay, I would like to remove that from the agenda.
Okay. Motion for that.
Make a motion, we remove the letter of credit for Autumn Place subdivision.
second.
Motion by Mr. Francis, second.
Yeah,
Perkins.
second.
Commissioner Miles,
Yes.
Commissioner Short,
Yes.
Commissioner Perkins,
Yes,
Commissioner Francis,
Yes.
Commissioner DeGrant,
Yes.
Commissioner Miller,
Yes.
Commissioner Estelle.
Yes. Next is the letter of credit release for Arbor Woods subdivision, Phase 2.
Yes, I'll address that as well, Mr. Chairman. Grab my notes here. We have completed all inspections necessary to pass our final inspection to release the irrevocable letter of credit in the amount of $67,048.75. My department has been satisfied for all conditions met. It is my recommendation to release.
Okay, we get a motion on it, please.
Okay, I'll make a motion, we release the letter of credit on Orchard Hills subdivision, Phase 4.
Get a motion, Dr. Miller.
Second.
DeGrant. Clerk, call the roll, please.
Commissioner Perkins,
yes,
Commissioner Francis,
Yes.
Commissioner Miles,
Yes.
Commissioner Short,
Yes.
Commissioner DeGrant,
Yes.
Commissioner Miller,
Yes.
Commissioner Estelle.
Yes. Next is letter of credit release for Carriage Place. You got that, Kevin?
Arbor.
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 I think we're on
I'm sorry,
Arbor.
Arbor, I'm sorry.
There
Arbor
you go.
Woods.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Sort of carbon copy. Everything has been completed, inspected, sidewalks, you name it, it's done. It has passed my department's inspection. So it is my recommendation to release the letter of credit in the amount of $107,850.
Okay, I'll get a motion on that, please.
I make a motion that we release the credit release a letter of credit release from Arbor Woods subdivision, phase 2.
Motion by Theodore Miles, second.
I'll second.
Second, Mr. Gary. Clerk, call the roll, please.
Commissioner DeGrant,
Yes.
Commissioner Francis,
Yes.
Commissioner Short,
Yes.
Commissioner Miller,
Yes.
Commissioner Perkins,
Yes.
Commissioner Miles,
Yes.
Commissioner Estelle.
Yes. Now, the next credit release for Carriage Place.
You get tongue-tied with all these letter of credit. Hoping Dr. Miller's getting excited with all these letter of credit releases we've worked on. Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Carriage Place Phase 1 and 2, again, carbon copy, is complete. However, I will throw you a curve on this one. If you notice, in Phase 1, which is the single-family development of Phase 1, doesn't have complete sidewalk. However, we have arranged a deal, and I do have in my possession a bond that covers all cost of construction for sidewalk due to the reasoning of all remaining lots belong to a single builder. So, I litigated that with the developer. I made sure the bond was in place, so at a magic moment, I was double bonded, if you will. So as of tonight, with the acceptance of the bond for that builder for the remaining items, which are only sidewalk, that it is my recommendation that we release the letter of credit. I'm sorry, this is a performance bond in the amount of $884,539.52 because I have another bond that will cover the remaining items.
Okay?
That was a lot right there.
That's basically an explanation to you if you were to go out there and ask, Kevin, why in the world are you letting them have their letter of credit release or bond, and start scratching your head. I just want to let you know that I do have coverage for those remaining items. It's just in someone else's name. And I have that in existence. It's in my files and filed away. So being double covered, it is okay tonight to release the first one.
Okay.
Okay. Get a motion on that, please.
I'll make a motion we approve the release of the letter of credit for Carriage Place.
Okay, motion made by Gary Short, second.
Second.
Commissioner DeGrant,
Yes.
Commissioner Francis,
Yes.
Commissioner Short,
Yes.
Commissioner Miller,
Yes.
Commissioner Perkins,
Yes.
Commissioner Miles,
Yes.
Commissioner Estelle.
Yes.
And if I may, I'll just add super fast. The letter, or I'm sorry, the bond that they submitted to me just for that sidewalk, just so you're aware, is in the amount of $162,168. That is to complete just sidewalk, which is the only remaining item.
From here on, are we going to do bonds? Or are we going to do a letter of credit?
They have an option within our ordinance. They can do a bond or a letter of credit.
We had a problem last time with this. Remember, I told you about it, that we had a real problem that some of the bond companies, some of the insurance companies actually came back and said that they couldn't cover it. They actually were broke. And they were some big companies. How much you would never think that in 2008. And by the time I came back in 2011, when I got on this committee or later, they still had not paid. So be careful which ones they choose. Letter of credit is a little more bank, non-insurance companies. That was really bad. I mean, it was terrible.
What's going to be unique in this particular situation, I have some of the same ideas that you're talking about, Dr. Miller, but
And sooner or later, we're going to hit another recession.
in this event, the homes being built out there are required under a certificate of occupancy to install the sidewalk at the time of that inspection. So they will not be able to occupy the home constructed until the sidewalk was in. So it's almost like double insurance, if you will. It's not when they decide to put the sidewalk in. The sidewalk will actually be installed at the completion of each individual home that is completed.
No, I'm talking about when contractors just left And the roads weren't done, the lights weren't done, the sidewalks weren't done, nothing was done, and they just left and stuck the city with thinking about doing this when I first got on the board. And it was millions of dollars. So, but you just completed a while back, really was a great job and really got us out of the city out of a big thing. And I just didn't want to see us get back into that situation again. Be very careful about what it, and you can't depend on the name of the company.
Well, D.R. Horton is building 50,000 homes a year, so pretty
Doesn't
cool.
make any difference.
I
This
know.
insurance company that I'm talking about, two of them, you would have never thought that they would actually say, we can't pay this. I'll tell you the names of them later on, not here, but some of the, but it was unbelievable how bad it was, even 2 years after 2008. And you know, sooner or later, we're gonna hit another fallout here. So I just want to protect the city. And I'm sure you all do too, but it's just startling, some of it.
Any more questions on that?
For $100,000, me and Ken will go do the sidewalks. For that kind of money?
I need a motion on it, please. Wrong motion, all right, sir.
We already did it.
That's right, because you come up with that. Next on the agenda, discussion of manufacturing housing with the residential zones.
In residential housing, manufactured homes, we're talking about trailers, right?
Not necessarily.
Not necessarily,
They're kind of in between. Nowadays, they've kind of changed a little bit.
but we're not talking modular homes.
Not modular, yes.
We're talking,
That's different than a manufactured.
Okay, that's what I
Very-
thought.
But the way the wording in here is 2002, right, 2002?
2000,
Yeah.
So
2002.
Some of those are kind of in between. They're just
so,
2000.
so if this gets fed, we're talking about trailers.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm going to put my counsel on standby here. If you would,
I'll
just
hit you.
just give us a brief overview, if you would, Chris, of House Bill 160, and elaborate, and then I will
You're gonna
conclude.
give a
with-
lawyer time to discuss this? Can I go in for coffee or whatever?
I'll tell you what, you wouldn't believe what Chris and I talk about.
Several times a day.
Several times a day, yes.
So, okay, so generally, writ large in Frankfurt, there's been a move towards taking away local control. And this is one of those areas. The House bill that Kevin referred to amends KRS 100.348. And what that does is it essentially constrains the city's ability to restrict manufactured housing by channeling permissible regulations into a narrow value-based framework. What do I mean by that? I was at the League of Cities for years and ran across a lot of cities that just had blanket prohibitions on mobile homes anywhere within the city limits, outside of a trailer park, for lack of a better way of referring to it, mobile home park. And with some of the changes that the commissioner mentioned, qualified manufactured home lobby has been very successful in lobbying the General Assembly in Frankfurt to get this statutory change. And so if it is a manufactured qualified home, there are certain parameters that has to be met. It has to have been manufactured on or before July 15th, 2002. It must be affixed to a permanent foundation and connected to appropriate facilities. It must have a minimum width of at least 20 feet at its smallest measurement, or be 2 stories in height, with the main entrance facing the street. It must have a minimum total living area of 900 square feet, and it must not be located in a manufactured home land lease community. So older single-wide units are not covered by this, anything pre-2002, which we've talked about. So mention the compatibility standard requirement. So for qualified manufactured homes, we're limited to adopting and enforcing compatibility standards as part of 100.348. Statute defines compatibility standards narrowly as to protecting and preserving the monetary value of real property within the city. Critically, any such standards must be designed to ensure that a qualified manufactured home placed in a residential zone is compatible in terms of assessed value with existing housing located within a 1/8 mile or less radius from the proposed location. This value-based benchmark prevents cities from imposing restrictions that are disconnected from the actual neighborhood property values. So with that, it's got to be somewhat in the ballpark as far as where you're putting it. So if it's going into a really nice neighborhood, it's going to be a really nice qualified manufactured home with that. So that's one little area we can legislate in. Finally, we can regulate architectural features that have significant impact on the overall assessed value of the structure. This would be roof pitch, square footage of livable space, type and quality of exterior finishing materials, foundation skirting, and the existence of type of attached structures. So, we can regulate a little bit as far as what we consider minimum square footage of livable space within that. But largely, the House bill does a pretty bad job of limiting what we can do in this area, and I'll let Kevin take it
Correct.
from there.
So where we're at is that this amendment, I believe, will take place sometime around July. It will go into effect. So what we're trying to do is stay in front of the cart with the horse. And so what we're asking for is just discussion. We're not asking for a vote tonight so that we can polish up your ideas that you may have on the subject. KRS 100.348 gives some good definition on what we are to look for, what they are going to allow. So the draft that I provided for you is just some excerpts from that KRS statute that sort of apply to planning and zoning as far as what we need to look at for compliance. Now, there's a whole lot in that statute. If I were to print it all out for you, we'd all be asleep. But I'm looking at honing down what my department and exclusively, not exclusively, to include the building inspection department, because I'm sure they will play a part in this as well as we go down the road for inspection. We're looking for appropriate locations, so that's going to be zones. The adoption of all of KRS or some portion, which what you have before you is just a portion of some simple things that we look for if I were to get one of these applications in, so that I can follow that. Now, council, the question I was sitting there thinking while you were reading that, can we adopt the entirety of the language and create the ordinance from it, or is it best suited with some thought process, including our locations as far as zones to be appropriate?
We've got several options with this. I'm aware of, and I apologize for not getting this together before this meeting, but I do know from speaking to other attorneys around the state that there are several cities that have adopted qualified manufactured home standards. I would be more than happy to reach out to some of those folks that I know well to get some of the approaches they've taken with that, to maybe look at, approaches other cities have made that we can then circulate in addition to this. But to answer your question, Kevin, I mean, if we copied and pasted, the statute and adopted that as an ordinance, we could do that. But I do think that we need to tailor it to where it best reflects what the city wishes to have, with the understanding that we are restricted pretty strongly by the statute.
So with those words of wisdom, gang, we would like to hear your thoughts as to what you would like to see. We'll put this together. Again, this is discussion. We'll get this polished up for you and present it to you at the next meeting. So
Okay.
Open to all comments and discussion, and any type of zones that you would like to talk about or confirm that you may be interested in.
Council, not to interject, my name is Michael Frazier. HB 160 was in part one of the bills that I helped to run. I'm a resident here in Madison County, also in downtown Richmond.
Would you please state your
Come
name
to
for the
the-
record and approach?
Come to the mic over here, please.
If I may.
And your name, please.
Hey, folks, my name is Michael Frazier, and I'm a citizen of here in downtown Richmond. I just literally live across the street. And HB 160 is one of the bills that my organization helped to run and also helped to push as part of solving Kentucky's housing crisis. So while I appreciate my friends at the League of Cities and we do respect local control, We also know that there is a housing crisis, and sometimes inconsistent zoning policies do contribute to to the housing crisis, including manufacturing homes. I do have something written out I would love to read, if that's possible, that talks about HB 160 and just some things of how it can actually supplement current policies to ensure that we keep aesthetics and also current dynamics of zoning policies. Would that be okay for me to read? I'm not sure what the time frame I have.
How long is it?
It's 2 minutes.
How long is it?
2 minutes.
2 minutes, if that. Is that?
Go ahead.
I don't want to violate any sort of, and my name is Michael Frazier for the record. So there are a few things to note with the KRS 100, particularly 103.48 through HB 160, federal manufacturing housing law, and longstanding constitutional limitations on arbitrary land use regulation. Although local governments do retain authority to regulate land use under KRS Chapter 100, that authority, of course, is not unlimited, and we can also use that as to complement current new statutory regulation, right? Most significantly, HB 160 materially alters the legal framework governing local regulation of manufacturing housing, starting effectively on July 1st, 2026, amending KRS 100.348, which prohibits local governments from adopting or enforcing zoning regulations that treat qualified manufacturing homes differently from single-house homes. So your astute and very well knowledgeable counsel is completely correct, so long as the regulation is consistent in how it's treating single-family homes. That is congruent with the new statutory framework. While municipalities may regulate certain architectural features, those same standards must also apply equally to site-built single-family residences within the single zoning classification. The General Assembly's recent actions reflect an increasing clear legislative policy favoring housing availability, reduction in exclusionary, emphasis added, exclusionary zoning practices, and limitation of unnecessary local barriers to affordable housing development. So a few things to watch out for within any potential ordinance, including language such as, quote, acceptable compatibility or similarity in appearance with site-constructed residences, end quote. That sort of language presents immediate vagueness and enforcement concerns. Terms like acceptable compatibility and similarity in appearance are undefined and inherently subjective. Unlike traditional zoning standards tied to measurable criteria such as setbacks, lot coverage, density, or building height, those provisions grant broad discretionary authority to administrative officials without objective benchmarks governing enforcement. So what that means is that we have to provide regulatory certainty so that you know what's going on, we know what's going on, developer knows what's going on, and particularly manufacturing home buyers know what's going on. It just creates that level of certainty that we all like, right? Kentucky courts have also historically viewed that such vagueness of land use standards skeptically, where they fail to provide property owners adequate notice of compliant requirements or permit arbitrary application. I would also caution from any standard that is uniquely applicable to manufacturing housing, including particularly minimum width requirements, orientation requirements, permit foundation mandates, roof pitch requirements, roofing material restrictions, siding composition mandates, parameter enclosure requirements, and aesthetic compatibility provisions. Unless identical standards are imposed upon similarly situated site-built single-family residences within the same zoning districts, those distinctions likely conflict with new language in KRS 100.3.48 following HB 160's effective date. I would also say that be cautious of any architectural restrictions that are particularly vulnerable. Any proposal that prohibits corrugated metal roofing requires specific roof pitch ratios and mandated particular siding materials and exterior appearances. HB 160 significantly narrows the ability of local governments to impose architectural standards applicable solely on manufacturing housing. A municipality may no longer maintain one set of design standards for manufactured homes and another for conventional residential structures. To remedy any legal defensible, any architectural regulation must apply uniformly across compatible housing types. I would also say that You know, if so long as we apply it fairly, equitably, and understandably congruent with single-family homes, with manufacturing homes, that's okay. We all want that because we all want our zones to be pretty aesthetical and also pleasing. We also want to ensure that what has become the new market of manufacturing homes can keep up with infrastructure costs as well, right? We know that. So I will say that the one piece of advice, and of course not giving legal advice, I just do policy. I'm a loudmouth from Powell County that grew up in a trailer in a manufactured home, that moved here to Richmond and fell in love with it, including with Mayor Blythe over here, who I think is just fantastic. I would be cautious of any sort of that language in a potential new zoning. And I would also say that, you know, let the free market ride, baby. So,
Yeah.
So I do respect local control and, of course, listen to your council. But I think that we can also maybe do something pretty cool with this policy to show that we're different in Richmond and not like something prohibit manufacturing.
Okay, thank you.
What is your background?
So my background, I'm a lobbyist, I'm a policy expert. I mostly did First Amendment work.
So you have no construction background then?
No, I do not have a direct construction or development background. I do have a housing policy and development background though.
Okay,
Yep, and that's with Americans for Prosperity, Pacific Legal Foundation. In fact, one of our partnering firms do take cities and ensure that there is equal accountable measures across the country.
okay, thank you.
Yep, thank you.
And I would like what Kevin had just said, if they could look into it some more and just come back with zoning or whatever we need, and just whatever you can come up with, and come back with us on that. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank
Thank you for your knowledge.
Oh, Lord, yes.
Yeah, I can see a big problem with this. Suppose I own the land, and I go ahead and I put a trailer out there, but it's, you know, next to a more expensive home. Well, who's gonna do the comps? Are you gonna have somebody that's in real estate or building or somebody else to go out there doing? And how are you gonna enforce that? Am I gonna have to sue in order to get that trailer out of the backyard or whatever? So you better have somebody that's gonna be a board that's gonna go out and look at it and make sure that it does match it. Because you can't count these people to do it on their own. You can forget that. So, you know that, Kevin. So, you know, what you're gonna have to do is you're gonna have a board of some knowledgeable people that's gonna be able to do this, and you're gonna have some serious repercussions if they say the comps aren't there, you're gonna have to move this facility, this building. And they get some recourse to it.
I agree.
I could see all kinds of problems with it.
I agree.
You had a good lobbyist. It
I mean-
apparently it's taking away all of the power from the city, and you all do whatever you want. You cannot put a manufactured, essentially a trailer, into a stick-built subdivision. That will never go. I don't care what you do to the facade. It diminishes the value of every home in that area. It'll blow away. You know, those are the worst in high winds. They're not constructed properly.
I mean, I can think
I
people
would
that-
say
I do
Mr.
it for a
Francis,
living,
yeah.
so-
What?
I do this for a living.
I know.
And we can build stick-built houses cheaper than we can build these modular homes for.
This isn't modular. This is, yeah.
I mean, we can build them cheaper. I mean,
Right.
Take Clayton Homes, for instance, down in
Yeah.
Laurel County. They're building these pre-manufactured homes, selling them on the market for $350, close to $400.
Yeah.
We're building all brick homes, nice amenities inside for under $300,000.
Yeah, and these are on chassis.
Yeah.
You know, they're trailers. They rebranded it, that's what it is, and it does not belong in a subdivision that is not.
Because people could
That type
have
of
separate
subdivision.
lots, like up from you, they got, one guy's got a big lot, put one on there. I mean, that's just not, you know, you're really gonna have some big restrictions on this.
Well, with the statutory language in mind, I will reach out to other cities that have adopted similar language, and we'll get
I don't
several
think it's a bad
options.
idea. I just think you're just gonna have to really watch it.
And I realize that, but before the next meeting, I will get several examples from some other cities that have addressed this problem as far as options and other approaches. I'd be happy to do that.
Okay,
Thank you.
Yep.
Yeah, you'll have a lot of developments that will protect their own development through their covenants and restrictions.
Yeah.
We see that across the board. I I personally see this being handy if you're an interior lot in the city, a standalone lot. You're not in a full-blown subdivision. You're an older lot. Your revitalization. You're taking out, we'll just use a 900 square foot house that has been built in 1910. You tear that down, and then that family owner would like something they can afford or make payments on. They can move that in there. These statutes are allowing such a thing to happen. We just need to be ready for those and how we will do our inspections.
I know, but like for Oak Street and some of the other streets around there, that the college homes are very deteriorating. Well, I could go in there and buy those lots for probably very little and tear all that down and put trailers on all of them, that whole street. And what about the people that own houses
That's coming.
there? What about the people that own houses there, that have an investment there? What are they gonna do? So you're gonna have some restrictions that way. That's just not, I could see where it could get way out of hand.
It's coming. It's coming.
which is why we placed it on the agenda for discussion.
I know,
This
but-
is not
but
this
it's
is not
real-
one of those easy things on the
A
agenda.
real touchy area. Well, we
Yes,
haven't
sir.
had anything easy, actually.
I'm here on my personal capacity, I'm not here on.
No, I understand.
Yeah. But if we can just let the Kevin and city attorney, they can look into it and just see what's a zoning for it or whatever it might be, and just what other cities and other places have got, and so that would be a stepping stone for us on.
You call the tune, Chairman, I'll dance to it, so I'll be
Yeah.
happy to do that.
And if it is necessary, we can arrange a work session to discuss that first. That way, we're not having to discuss something you're actually seeing put together and then, oh, well, it looks okay, 80%-ish, and then we're continuing on for another meeting. I think a work session for this particular topic would be best
Yes.
Tough.
appropriated, so. And we can do that and have those materials ready for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any more questions on it? Let's see. Getting off his subject, it almost goes back like when they brought up the idea of those tiny homes. I think it's kind of died out now, maybe a little bit, but people are talking about them, because I think they'd come up here once before. But nothing materialized off.
I think they're more popular in like California,
Yeah.
places like
Shotgun homes.
tiny homes,
Tiny
things like
homes.
that, or on, some up east somewhere, something like, I think they're more popular than here, don't you all?
West Virginia has a bunch.
I don't know if tiny homes are a big deal. Are they a big deal here?
Developments.
Yeah, the tiny homes is kind of like your cabins and stuff, so if somebody wanted to put like some Airbnbs up in some woods and stuff, tiny homes are the best suited to fit that.
Yeah, they probably are.
About that size, too.
And possibility with some zoning-ish, like trailer parks can technically fit the tiny homes, and you can add two homes to one mobile home because of the bedroom count, technically. Technically, just so you know, mobile home park can become a tiny home park very quickly, just so you know.
And where does that lead?
Right here, just right here, so.
Any more discussions on that?
No, sir.
You got a report?
Just real quick, I have ordered tablets for all of you. I did get you a bigger screen so that you can look at some of these plats and things, but we will be utilizing in the very near future tablets for 100% digital submission to you guys to look at the agendas and things and all items and materials. In FYI, you must look at your city email. That will be the only thing they get sent to. If you're challenged and by any means necessary, we are going to provide any training you may have. We haven't decided whether that'd be after the meeting or any certain time, but IT has certainly stated they will give any kind of training, and even throw my colleague under the bus here, Biddy. I think you chimed in and said you could do some training as well.
You misheard
You,
something.
no, did I?
Yeah, that, above my pay grade, brother.
Yeah, but no, we're addressing some situations where, you know, open records and things of that nature. So we want to clean all of that up. So new tablets will be assigned for every one of my board members, and personal accounts will not be
Can you put it on
utilized.
there so that if there's a commission meeting, we can look at it on the tablet?
Yeah.
For instance, have a commission meeting, I don't have to go to YouTube, I don't have to go to something else, can you put it, so, I mean, they have it on courses and stuff there, I don't see why we couldn't put that on the tablet, so you can see any of the meetings, really, on the tablet. It could be planning and zoning, it could be adjustment board, it could be anything that's taped, that we could pull right up and we can look at.
Huh?
So when you go live, you're live on YouTube then, when you go, okay, I got you.
So we could put YouTube on it.
Got you.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm thinking, because
Yeah.
I get
Okay.
alerts when they're up there. I get a little alert on my phone, and I know that all kinds of meetings are taking
Yeah.
place,
that
and
would
that
be good
clues
on-
me to go look.
That would be good on this tablet.
And correct me if I'm wrong, counsel, if you're watching the YouTube video of any other meeting going on, I mean, that is for work purposes, I believe that would be satisfactory to do. Yes, you could do that.
I don't mind, I don't watch it.
Yeah, I mean,
Well, if you're me and you hear yourself on TV, you're asking yourself, who is that?
yeah, I did, IT does limit, maybe not the internet as much, but as far as, you're probably not gonna be able to download Angry Birds or something like that on there. So it will be for business use only, or your position here. And Kevin is correct that, yeah, as part of the training, I am gonna cover a little bit of open records. Because if we're gonna be discussing, any type of city business, it needs to be through a city email, and just need to keep things above board on that. So I will cover that a little bit in the training, but it'll be as painless as possible, I
So
promise.
we are gonna have a training session.
Yeah, on the use of that, and as far as the email, I'll just pipe in with my 2 cents at that time. It's just very limited legal aspects of it. I promise.
No, medicine is all computers. Medicine is all computers, so I know how to use a computer well, but open records and stuff would be really nice.
Last thing is that, with the exception of our Autumn Place we had to pull, if we were able to have heard that, Dr. Miller, I will look at you, we will have been fully caught up on all of the delinquent statuses. So, with that minor little electrical conduit movement, and we get that fixed, we will be 100% caught up with everyone that is now fully compliant within their time frames.
Congratulations.
Good.
Nice work, nice work.
I have to tell you that since I got on this board, I've been working on that for like 12 years.
You and I both.
Yeah, and it's only when you got on here that most of it went away.
Thank you.
Okay, and I don't think many people in the city realize how much money was up for grabs, do they? When we first got on this, like millions.
Yeah.
There was one guy on there, been on for 15 years.
Yeah,
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, there's some older than that.
Yeah, it might have
2002.
been.
Yeah.
And then when it hit in 2008.
And some of
it
some of the amounts were silly. I recall one, it was only like $7,600, but it's on the books.
But see, the worst part about it is that the neighborhoods, the subdivisions where these people live, had to wait until either they could get the bonds up or the letters of credit, or somebody followed up on it before they could get their subdivision completed. So some waited 20 years. One of them had like a gravel road. That's ridiculous, so.
Last thing is all the KLC training. Mike, I think, are you up? You're not up? So you have completed it?
No.
Okay, yeah.
So-
Just, Yeah, just check with Deborah here if you need any of those times and available locations that you can get that done.
Okay.
I think I'm completing mine in October. It's online.
I think that's what,
Yeah. I'm not going to be afforded the
October.
liberty to leave the office very long, so I think
When's ours coming up, November or
I'm
something?
going to have to double dip and watch and
You've
do
got
other
it
things.
scheduled for one.
Yeah, I have you scheduled for the one in Lexington. I believe it
in October.
is
In October.
October.
It's in
But there,
October.
there's also an October if you want to do it online.
no.
And who's teaching?
So you want me to just
Hey,
go ahead and
I'm
sign
gonna
you
have,
up with
I'm gonna
that?
have to drive them over. You know,
Yeah.
If you would, just put it in with them.
I
But it's
will.
October,
Do
though.
that. Thank you.
October the 12th, when I'm going
Yeah.
at 8 a.m., yeah.
Who's teaching this?
And it used to be David Pike, but he is, I think, retired to his sled dog rescue home in Alaska. I kid you not.
Oh, yeah.
Planning and zoning law is a good field to be in, clearly. But KLC has several experts that work in the field whose names absolutely escape me right now. But it's statutorily, you're required to have the annual trainings, and they have people that will no doubt have great information
You
on
gonna
it.
be there?
I'm probably going to attend remotely.
Okay.
So I've sat through enough KLC trainings in my day and given enough, so I think I will appear remotely for that, so.
I'm off that day. It's Columbus Day.
Is there any more?
Yes. Feds are off that day. So now I have to go. Now I've got to get up early as it is.
There is a Columbus Day anymore, isn't it? Indigenous People Day, isn't
It'll switch 3 more times in the next couple of years.
it? Well, there's some good reasons to switch it.
I'm just,
Is there anything else?
No, sir, that is all.
I get a motion for adjournment?
I'll make that.
Can
Wait a
I-
minute.
I'm sorry, can I ask one question? Chris, are we supposed to vote on the director's report?
No.
Okay. Yes, go ahead, continue, sorry.
I get a motion for adjournment.
I will make that motion that we adjourn.
Motion for Mr. Short and Dr. Miller seconded.
Commissioner DeGrant?
Yes.
Commissioner Francis?
yes.
Commissioner Short?
Yes.
Commissioner Miller?
Here.
Commissioner Perkins?
Yes.
Commissioner Miles?
Yes.
Commissioner Estelle?
Yes.